Hello there folks, and welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I'm your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. And today, well, it's another one of our fragrance reviews, because you may recall, if you watch this channel with any regularity, that I've been doing a few fragrance reviews of summer scents. Fragrances which are specifically designed for the summer season, the warmer time of the year. We've done, Davidoff Cool Water, we've done Aquacorum and a few others as well, which are very much pitched at the warm time of the year, where their aquatic, marine or zesty fragrances work particularly well. Today we are joined by one of the absolute classics, and that is Blue Stratos, which, if you're of a similar age to me, you will well remember the advertisements on TV in that era, which led us to be interested in the famous blue bottle.
Blue Stratos. An aftershave with a fragrance that seems to capture the freshness and freedom of the windswept sky. Blue Stratos for men.
There we go. The advert suggests a devil-may-care, risky, adventurous lifestyle. Quite a lot for a fragrance to live up to. But the world has changed a lot since 1974. Hard to believe it's been that long since Blue Stratos was unleashed onto the world. Now, yes, the world has become a much more sophisticated place, and fragrances have definitely changed. Some would say for the better, others might say for the worse, certainly a lot more expensive. And as a result, Blue Stratos has slipped down the hierarchy of men's fragrances over the years. Today you'll find it in that, in the budget basket in the drugstore or the supermarket, where this can be found for less than £5 in many cases. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Aftershave version. It does come in an eau de toilette spray version as well, but the Aftershave version, it's absolutely as cheap as chips. I think it was around about £5 for 100 millilitres. It is by far the cheapest fragrance that I have reviewed. But is it any good? That's the question. So let's give it a try. So Blue Stratos, in my mind, takes me back to an era where all of the celebrities and stars had big moustaches and wore double denim, denim jackets and trousers in their lives. And I can't say I have any memory of this the first time round. I definitely encountered it when I was young. And of course, I've smelled it before today. It does have a slightly sweet, slightly sickly fragrance to me in the modern world, but let's get it on the skin and then we can give it a proper test. Now, being an aftershave, I've got to be a little careful. It's not sprayed on. I'm just going to put a little bit on my hand, let that cook off, let some of the alcohol dissipate whilst I put the lid back on there, and we will have a sniff. Whew. Now, the men in the 1970s and 1980s had different requirements of their fragrances. I think that if we looked at any fragrances from back in that era, we would find unsophisticated, quite brash fragrances, which were something of a blunt instrument. But you know what? Blue Stratos is a surprise. It isn't a smack you in the nose sort of fragrance. It is subtle. It is mild. Now, yes, it's true, I'm testing the aftershave here. An aftershave, by definition, will have a lower amount of active components, fragrance, than perhaps the eau de toilette. But we certainly get the essence of it. And to me, the essence is mild. It's not, punching me in the nose. It's quite subtle, and that's quite pleasing, because you want that with an aftershave. You don't want something which is, radiating odor when you've just had a shave. So from that point of view, it's rather nice. But let me tell you, it's accords, because there's a lot going on here, and I'm going to make sure I tell you exactly what we've got. So the head notes, which is what we expect to smell immediately upon applying it to the skin, we should smell seawater and citrus. I'm not sure about the seawater, but there is definitely an element of citrus there. I don't say it smells particularly aquatic to me, but others might say different. At its heart is patchouli and geranium. I definitely get that. I get a hint of patchouli. Geranium, I certainly sense florality in there, but it's there. It's not just a simple fragrance. At its base, which is where the fragrance will dry down to eventually after a little while, we should expect to smell basil, mint, musk and woodsiness. Yeah, it's hard to say. For me, it smells quite fresh, actually. It smells quite fresh, yes, and a little sickly as well. A little sweet. Not unpleasantly so, but it could be a little cloying if you apply it in large enough doses. So let me tell you what I think about the old fragrance. What season would you wear this in? It's definitely a warm weather fragrance. It's designed from the outset to be a warm weather fragrance, and that's what it's all about. The suggestion that it's got seawater in it, or fragrance, indicates it's aquatic, it's marine in nature, and citrus, and that clearly puts us in the summer season. What time of day would I wear this? Definitely a daytime fragrance. It's not something you could wear out in the evening. It absolutely doesn't have enough power and projection to wear to perhaps the yacht club or to a night down the pub, with somebody special. I wouldn't perhaps say that. I've answered my next question. Is it a fragrance you could wear to a special occasion? Definitely not. It simply doesn't have the strength or even the character. This is a £5 fragrance. It's not something you're going to be buying specially to wear on your wedding day or the day that you receive the Nobel Prize. Let's be honest. This is a cheap and cheerful everyday fragrance that you can throw on when you're going to the office. It's not going to offend anybody. It is mild, it is subtle, and I'm answering a few of my future questions there. What's its longevity like? Not very good. It's quite mild. Yes, this is an aftershave, but even the eau de toilette is not going to be much more than that. The projection, modest, if not weak, I would say. You apply it, its ability to project any more than a foot or two away from you after that first 10 or 15 minutes is diminishing fast. So this is not something that's going to be a powerhouse fragrance working on you all day long. Quite the opposite. Let's have a look. Is it masculine? Yes, it's masculine. Yes, it's got woodsy and citrus elements to its underpinning accords. I think it's it's not bad. It's something which is masculine. Although, to be honest, with that little bit of florality, it could be worn by a lady at a push. If you were traveling together and she's forgotten her perfume, you could share this. I don't think she'd be offended by it. It doesn't have too much muskiness, not at all. Let's have a look. What does it look like? Well, there's been very little imagination put into the bottle. It is a simple, ordinary bottle, predominantly square in nature, as you can see, and as one would expect with a name like Blue Stratos, it is blue in every way. Nothing special, it's what it is. Nice little bottle, got the old famous seagull logo, which has always been the Blue Stratos icon. Little more than aftershave and 100 millilitres written on there. Simple as that. The box that it comes to us in, again, mirrors the bottle and is a slightly darker colour blue. Nothing special there, but then we wouldn't expect it to be. This is as cheap as chips. This is the cheapest aftershave I've ever bought. Have I received any third-party comments? Actually not. I have worn it a few times, not too often. I'm not in love with it, but it's something which I could wear on a warm day like today. If I've had a shave, I want to throw this on just for something to take the edge off, the smell of perspiration. It's better than that for sure. But yeah, nobody's really come up to me and said, wow, that's a kick-ass fragrance you're wearing there, fella. What are you wearing? Yeah, that's not going to happen with Blue Stratos, I can tell you of that. As I've said, its ace is its value. It is so cheap, you could almost use this as hand sanitizer. £5 for a bottle of 100 millilitres. It's not bad. It's not bad for the price. I'll say that for it. So in summary, what do I think of Blue Stratos, if you haven't already picked up my leaning in this review so far? Well, I bought it not expecting much, and I wasn't disappointed. Not much was delivered, but it's okay. Do you know what? For £5, it's a mellow, soft, subtle fragrance that you can pretty much wear anywhere. And if you're not a fan of men's fragrance and you don't have a leaning in any particular direction, this is kind of your neutral fragrance. You can wear it for anything, it's not going to bother anyone. I remember this, you know, from my youth. I dare say it's changed enormously. It's probably changed hands several times in its manufacture. At the moment, it's made by a company called Parfums Bleu, which is an Australian company, and in their stable of fragrance, there is nothing special. It is fair to say it's all budget level, cheap fragrance. I'm sure if you went back to the 70s and 80s, you might get a more potent formulation than what's in circulation today, but that could be said for any fragrance from that era. So yeah, nothing special. Not bad though, you know, it certainly isn't going to offend you. I often talk about who would wear a fragrance like this, and I try and apportion the fragrance to a celebrity, either real or fictional, who I could imagine wearing this. And do you know what? Thinking back to my childhood, to the 70s and 80s, there was one character which jumped out for me. It's a double denim wearing chap, and it is Steve Austin, the $6 million man, played by Lee Majors. You know, that classic icon of children's entertainment. Saturday evenings, I always used to watch the $6 Million Man, and I could imagine in my mind him wearing Blue Stratos as he went about his highly, you know, adventurous, devil-may-care life. So there we go. If you stay tuned to the end of the video, I will play another advertisement of Blue Stratos from that era as well. So a little bit of a bonus for you for sticking it out to the end. So until the next time we meet, don't forget, give us a thumbs up and click that red subscribe button, and that way you won't miss any of our future material. Till the next time, take care of yourselves, smell fresh in these summer days, and I will see you again very soon.
When my man puts on Blue Stratos, I know he's into something new. When my man puts on Blue Stratos, there ain't nothing he can't do, and he ain't doing bad now. When my man puts on Blue Stratos, I don't need to sing the blues.
Blue Stratos, cool, quiet confidence.
Believe me.